Sherman D. Manning joining you live from Los Angeles, California. I want to send a very special shout out to the National American Civil Liberties Union, aka the ACLU. I thank God for the ACLU. I'm out today doing street ministry here in Los Angeles. We have visited with guys in tents today, prayed for them, ministered to them. I fed 27 people today, and one guy needed clothing, and we were able to get him clothing. And I just thank God for what he is doing through this ministry. And I want to say to my fellow Americans that the work that I have been blessed to be able to do would not be possible without the ACLU. They are willing to step in and vindicate a man's constitutional rights to artistic expression and free speech. And I'm just so humble and thankful for the great work that they have done. Let me personally thank powerhouse attorney Lydia Gray. Lydia is a youngster. She's probably 24 years old, 25 tops, fresh out of law school, clerked for one great judge, and now she is a staff attorney with the American Civil Liberties Union. Lydia, if you're watching, you did a great job. Thank you so very kindly. I want to thank attorney Erin Darling, E-R-I-N-D-A-R-L-I-N-G. Erin is actually a criminal defense attorney, but because our lawsuit involved the request for damages and talked about the retaliation that we were victimized by, we had to add Erin private counsel to our team. And Erin did a great job. Erin, thank you so much if you're watching. And the greatest attorney on the face of the planet, greatest civil attorney who has ever walked this earth is attorney Peter Eliasberg. We had some clashes. We had some tough times. I think that we walked away with a lot of respect for each other because Peter knows that I'm going to say what I mean and mean what I say, and I can say the same thing about him. Neither one of us are the kinds of persons who just kiss up to anybody or go along to get along, but he's tough and he's vigorous and he's brilliant. Peter is a graduate of Harvard Law School, and Harvard, they don't make them any better than Harvard. So Peter Eliasberg, thank you for all of the great, tremendous work you did on this case and for the fact that it has national implications. Someone told me the other day that this case is already being cited at Supreme Court in another state, and in fact 3 or 4 federal judges have already cited our case. I want to say to every man and every woman who has ever been convicted of a crime, listen, you know your heart, you know what you did, you know what you didn't do. I'm a living witness that you can be wrongly convicted of a crime that you did not commit. And once they can put a rape on your jacket, once they can put a murder on your jacket, once they can put an armed robbery on your jacket, sometimes it takes you forever to live it down. Reputations take decades to build, and they only take one conviction to kill. People will judge you for the rest of your life. But number one, I want to say to you that you're not alone. Joseph in Genesis 37 was wrongly convicted of attempted rape, had a sex crime in his jacket. Joseph went to prison and stayed there for 13 and a half years, but he was innocent. It was a crime he did not commit. I'm not God. I can't tell you why God does things the way that he does them, but we know that he rules and super rules. He's smarter than we will ever be. He's omniscient and omnipotent. And to be quite frank with you, had not I gone down for what I went down for, I would not be coming up the way that I'm coming up. I would not be serving the way that I serve. I would not have the humility and the humble attitude and spirit that God has given me. Certainly, only God can make you what he wants you to be. And there are a lot of pastors in this city. There are a lot of pastors in this world. Many, if not most of them, are smarter than I am, more articulate than I will ever be. Some of them have been schooled in some of the best universities in this country. But what makes me the man that I am is because I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. I've been schooled in the school of hard knocks. I know what it's like to walk into a room and wonder, do they really think I did that? Do they not know me any better than that? Can't they look at a man and tell if he's a rapist? Can't they look at a man and tell if he's a murderer, if he's a killer? I've always believed in intuition and vibes, and quite frankly, I can sit in the room with you for 5 minutes and tell you more about yourself than you might think someone can tell you who's known you for 5 years. My vibes, my intuition, just the feeling that I get lets me know whether this is a dark soul or a bright soul. And so you want to think that people have that same gift or at least some of that intuition. But it's hurtful, it's shameful, it's depressing when they lock you up and send you away for something that you did not do. But I'm also a living witness that when you get out, if you will pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and keep moving, God will make a way out of no way. I finally found out that the ground is no place for a champion. We fall down, but we get back up again. When you're at the ground and on the ground, the only way to go is back up again if you're mobile. And so I want to thank the ACLU for giving me the right to practice the religion of my choosing. Thank God I was not some person who molested some child or did something that dastardly. Thank God that was not something that I was even accused of doing. But still they sent me away on bad stuff. And now we're rebuilding and we're reaching out because I'm finding out that I'm not the only one in this situation. That there are millions of men and women who have these secrets. They're hiding these painful convictions of their past. Sometimes it's stuff they did do. Sometimes it's stuff they didn't do. Sometimes they did something, but people added on to what they did. Sometimes they did A, but they're convicted of A, B, and C. Whatever the case might be, one thing I know someone who knows every heart, every mind, every soul, and every spirit. His name is Jesus Christ. And my goal and my duty, my responsibility is to take Jesus to the nation. Not to proselytize, but to preach and teach and minister and make a difference. And I'll reach out to those who are coming out of jails. I'll reach out to those who are coming out of prisons. We have a practical ministry. We don't just preach and teach. We reach. We make a difference. If a person needs a job, we get them a job. If a person is sleeping in a tent and wants housing, we get them housing. Pay no attention to those clothes behind me. I'm just walking around making this video. If a person is sleeping in a tent tonight, we can have them housed by Monday. If a person is hungry, we feed them. Jesus said, I was hungry and you fed me not. I was in prison and you visited me not. The disciples said, when? That's Matthew 25. When did we see you hungry or in prison? He said, and as much as you've done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you've done it also unto me. So it is our duty to serve the people. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can do my duty as a Christian, or if I can spread the message that the Master taught, then my living will not be in vain. Thank everybody at the ACLU. Thank every ACLU law student, every legal aid, every clerk, every paralegal. Thank you, ACLU. The ACLU wins again. Thank you, Jacob Hutt, H-U-T-T. I think he's in Pennsylvania somewhere. I don't know where he is. He teaches at Stanford or Harvard or one of them. Thank you to everybody for what you did for me. God is a good God. He's able, he moves, he rules, and super rules. I am a fan of the ACLU. I'm a fan of the ACLU. Peter, Lydia, Aaron, all of you whose names I will never know. Jacob Hutt, ACLU Foundation, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Keep the faith. God bless.